Go to southern France today and you might come across a structure that's nothing but amazing. There, you'll find the three-tier aqueduct known as the Pont de Guerre. It's one of the best preserved Roman aqueducts anywhere in the world, and also the highest. But what's hard to get your head around is that this magnificent structure was built roughly 2,000 years ago in the 1st century AD. UNESCO has called it a testament to human genius. While no one disagrees that this ancient structure shows us that those Romans, or at least some of them, were exceptionally talented engineers. The Romans were masters at making concrete, but they didn't start using some form of concrete until around the 3rd century BC. There's even a period known as the Roman Concrete Revolution, which is when engineers experienced an explosion in their use of very creative building processes and architectural elements thanks to the incredible concrete formula that they could exploit to build much more impressive structures. Without this concrete, we wouldn't have all those amazing structures still standing today. The ancient Romans, of course, didn't call it concrete, but the Latin words opus caementicium. It would be an understatement to say concrete was important to the Romans because it helped build a lot of things they were famous for, such as the large Roman edifices, houses, those great bridges, and those tough Roman roads we've all heard about. But how did they make this amazing concrete of theirs? Historians tell us that their magic formula for opus caementicium was to add a volcanic dust called pozzolana to a mortar that was made from lime or gypsum with bits of rock, brick, tile, and some water added. As many of you know, to mix concrete you have to add each part carefully, making sure not to have too much or too little of any one thing. The Romans did just that, perfecting the exact ratio that yielded the strongest concrete. They would mix the mortar and then add to it the pozzolana, and for every 1 part volcanic dust there would be 3 parts lime or gypsum. Historians tell us that the magic was in the volcanic ash, because it contained silica and alumina, which together in the mix created a chemical reaction that strengthened the mortar. Voila! Perfect Roman concrete and structures all over the place which would stand up straight for centuries, long after the empire itself had fallen. But as we said, there was a concrete revolution, and during this phase, the Romans would advance their concrete, making it even stronger, and learn how to make it waterproof. The genius who came up with waterproof concrete found that by adding crushed terracotta, that would do the job. In the 1st century AD, they even figured out that by mixing a certain amount of volcanic ash and lime and letting it sit in seawater, that it would harden the concrete over time. That's why you have Roman structures that have stood in the water for 2,000 years that are still standing, whereas modern concrete would deteriorate in the salt water. That concrete is reinforced with steel, too, and steel doesn't like salt water. In fact, Roman marine concrete has been called the most durable building material in human history.